Greetings, greetings to you wherever you are. I hope this message meets you in good health and in the right frame of mind. Okay? Let me get your response concerning if you hear me clearly. Let me know if everything is perfect. Okay? So I'm waiting on your response to let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear, if everything is perfect. Okay, we want to have a very informative discussion today on the subject of money and how to really understand money in a way that there would be no mentality of lack and scarcity. If you listen to me and you grew up in the Caribbean, most likely your education system would have taught you about profit and loss. And that was done with an agenda to keep you in ignorance concerning the living, flowing currency that is operating in you every single moment of your life. Now, when it comes to your thoughts, make sure before go any further, if you have to take note, make sure to get pen and paper and start to take note, because it's very important that you use this knowledge to create generational wealth. It's very important that you use this knowledge to help your children. And it is said that a wise man would always leave an inheritance for his children can go on and on and on. Okay? But to be honest with you, those people who was willing to bow in 2020 to 2022, what kind of inheritance could they leave to their children? Is that of slavery? That's the one they're going to leave for the children. Okay? Because they were given an opportunity to go free and to have other opportunities open to them. But they were willing to give their body to be experimented upon. Okay? Now, let me get into the subject. Okay? I was giving you time to get your pen and your paper. Now, your life on this planet is basically an inhalation and an exhalation. When a man dies, his last breath is an exhalation. And when you're going to have this human experience, the first breath, it's an inhalation. Make sure to keep that in mind. So one is outgoing and one is incoming. So your thoughts, you have outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts. Take note of that. So if you have outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts, then your financial experience on this planet is a clear indication and a revelation of where you're living, psychologically speaking. It's a reflection of the mind. And so if you grow up in a society whereby most people live in lack and scarcity, poverty, the solution or the key to solve such a problem would have to be one's mentality. Because, as I said earlier, your life starts with an inhalation, it ends with an exhalation, and you have outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts. Now, most people go to a job, and if you ask them why they go to a job, most of the time they do not know. It is just that they just conform. They come, they grow up, and they meet their parents. Parents go into a job. And the parents pass down whatsoever knowledge or intelligence that they achieve over the years to their children. That is why there's a pattern in every country in this world. And that pattern goes like this. The poor keep replicating back more poor. The middle class keep replicating back more middle class, and the rich keep replicating more rich. The religious and superstitious continue replicating more religious and superstitious. The dumb and ignorant keep replicating more dumb and ignorant, and the list goes on and on. So you have to learn to break curses of your life, generational curses. And so if you grew up in a society where finance was very much scarce among your family members, whether it's your mother, your father, or whoever, I'm going to offer you the solution by teaching you the secret of income that they don't want you to know. The secret of income. If you look around, there are many people, especially in the bigger countries like America, Canada, England, and so on. And if you also check the people who have 3 and 4 jobs, you would realize that these people who have 3 and 4 jobs, they miss the principle of income. What do I mean by that? They miss the principle of multiple sources of income. Now, catch this. The religious and superstitious people, which most of the people who tie to these different 3 and 4 jobs, they're mostly religious and superstitious. Most of the people tied to these 9 to 5 and so on, while their pastors and so on don't go to no 9 to 5. Okay, they have multiple sources of income because they have a congregation of 1,000 people. They have a congregation of 2,000, 6,000. They have a could you imagine having a congregation like TD Jakes? If you have a congregation of 10,000 or 20,000, you know among the multiple sources of income you have coming in. But most people do not see the church system as a business. That's why most people do not also see their minds as a business. So I'm teaching you that your real business is your mind. That is why it's important for you to understand how thoughts really works. So the outgoing thoughts and the incoming thoughts will also represent whether you are more of a consumer or you are more of a creator, whether you are more of a creative being or more of a consuming being on this planet. And so If you live your life reading a book that says, in my father's house, there are many mansions, and you fail to realize that you can't have a mansion in a house, and you do not realize that it's a parable, and it is something to exercise your mind, you wouldn't realize that your body is the father's house. And the mansions represent those ideas which are infinite. And so ideas is what rule this world. Ideas is what was used to give us the internet, the telephone, the automobile, the airplane. They're all ideas. And so the incoming and outgoing thoughts represent the ideas you're going to embrace, and the ideas you're going to send out there too, based on your thinking. That also will reflect in how much we earn in this life, financially speaking. So as a result of your thinking, your income is limited. Because if you have a mindset that says that money is hard to get, that money is scarce, if you have a mindset that says water more than flour, and you grow up around people who speak like that, most likely if you conform, you will never understand multiple sources of income. That it has to do with that state of mind that recognize that you have infinite states of consciousness, infinite states of awareness, infinite states to create, to innovate, to uplift, to renew, to rebuild, to reconstruct. Because why? If you do not realize that you are the potter that can form and shape and mold the clay, well, the clay of which I speak is non-physical. So if you do not know the importance of your non-physical self, then you will never understand the importance of multiple sources of income and how to have multiple sources of income, because you will lack imagination in your everyday life. And that is why most melanated people do not have multiple sources of income. They have plenty jobs. I want you to get that. Let me run that again. And this is not to belittle melanated people, but it's to uplift melanated people. Most melanated people do not have multiple sources of income. Because, for example, when a man says that he have 2 and 3 and 4 jobs, he failed to realize that there are people who have 20,000 sources of income. There are people who have 50,000 sources of income. You see, people don't speak this way because they don't want you to know. There are people who have 1 million sources of income. Let me use a simple example for you. Okay, let's say you are an influencer on the internet. Okay, and you decide to be a part of the cabal. Yes, because there is a cabal, okay, that run this kind of system that don't really like people like me. So content like this, they wouldn't push it out there. They rather shadow ban you. Okay? And I've always said because I want them to know that I know what they're doing. Okay? But let's say you're an influencer and you have, say, 200,000 followers, and you could inspire, out of that 200,000 followers, you could inspire 100,000 people to support your work in whatever way they can support your work, whether you have much, you have anything that you're offering, any kind of service, any kind of goods or service that you're offering. That is 100,000 sources of income. And that's why advertisement, I'm waiting for the wind to calm a little because I want you to get everything. That's why advertisement is the key. Because those who run and control this world is who run and own social media. They dictate the conversational wall, the wall of language. Let me put it that way. I'm speaking about universal language, okay? Because people from every part of the world can hear you, okay? But that is just replicating the inner intelligence, which is also universal and non-physical, that you have residing in you, that you must activate. That is why everything was first a thought. It was first an idea, it was first imagined, which means everything starts from the invisible and being showcased or manifested in the visible. So as a melanated person with your religious beliefs, anyway how you were raised, there's no way you could operate in a vast, large amount of people, as a big collective, okay? In any society, bringing in based on having multiple sources of income. Because your belief system, because remember thoughts, okay? Remember, let me go back to the foundation, remember, okay? And let me lay a foundation of energy, vibration, and frequency, okay? Even before I go to thoughts, okay? And you being a master energy, which is the true essence, that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transmuted. So everybody's transmuting their energy. And to transmute your energy, it all goes back to whatever belief system or communicational system that you are operating under. So whatever you're sending out is coming back to you. It's a last sowing and reaping. So if we were to look at nature and we look at a tree, we will see the income of a tree. I can call it the output of a tree. How much fruit it is bringing forth. But it have to do with its input. How much nutrients it is receiving in its root. Well, your brain, okay, is like your root, like the root of a tree. And whatever knowledge, whatever information you're absorbing, and you're acting on that information, that's how you're transmuting your energy. Through action, taking decisive action based on the ideas that you entertain. And the ideas that you entertain will be based on your belief system, the way you think. So imagine a man growing up talking about Jesus is the Savior. And he believes some sky daddy and some man gonna come from the sky to save him. Could you imagine that kind of mindset? That's why most of our people think if they have a lot of money, they might turn their back on the idol they worshiping or they believe in because they're so brainwashed. They're so delusional. You see, when you become so delusional in idolatry, you will not become delusional in owning money as much. Because to be delusional intentionally to improve your income, you have to understand how the mind works. And so if you wait until you have $1 million to call yourself a millionaire, you're losing the battle. It means you don't understand income. Because each innovative and creative idea that you have and you entertain and you believe in yourself, because it all goes back to how much you believe in yourself. For a man, let me use that, let's say Usain Bolt, because a lot of people familiar with Usain Bolt. He's a man from the Caribbean, a man from Jamaica, grew up in a very, very poor neighborhood and so on. But he believed in himself in terms of he finding something that he loved and he's good at. And so from an early stage, he realized he could really run. And he got the right kind of people around him to coach him, just like how right now I'm speaking to you. I'm coaching you, okay? And he started running. He didn't become an overnight champ. He didn't become an overnight world champion. He started to win smaller races, like in the character games and so on, Commonwealth games and so on, games in the Caribbean that they normally have and so on. He started to win races there. And so they started to see his potential in running. It's the same thing with you. But you have to learn to take risk. Like for example, let me use myself. It was very, very hard for me after working 17 years in this system, working with the postal service. It took a lot of strength and courage in me to walk away from that job. And I wasn't going to walk away empty either. I wanted when I walk away from there, when I leave there with an envelope. And I used to always tell my other co-workers that I'm not going to leave the empty-handed after 17 years. Nah, they have to pay me for everything. Because I'm not going to get fired. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to do none of those things. But I'm going to give them a lot of hell because they changed from a corporation, from under government to a corporation, and they didn't give us the opportunity to be paid, or they could re-employ us and so on. They never do that, so they didn't employ me, so they couldn't change my job description, and I did as I pleased. And they realized what kind of man I was. And so they decided to call me and decide to pay me out, and told me if they pay me off, if I would be willing to take my money and leave. And I told them yes. And I did that, had nowhere to go. I had the money that I got from the postal service was the amount of money that I owed the credit union. Because I was tied up in credit union too. Because why? I was tied up in a church system. And I wanted to support the church system so much that the Caribbean would have become my backyard. I used to travel to say I'm going to evangelize all over the Caribbean under a church system, whereby they end up and caught the man in Trinidad who was running that church. But he had a branch here with $28 million when they was changing the money, Trinidad money, the $100 bill, they was going to change it. And he carried in $28 million, $100 bill. Okay? And so I used to travel. And there are a lot of people who like to talk about the travel. If you look at a lot of these dating shows and so on. A lot of people like to say they like travel and so on. But that could keep in a lot of debt. So it had me in a lot of debt. So I had nowhere to go. And nothing to turn to. But because I make that step and I remain faithful, I never give up. I found my way. And it helped me to create multiple sources of income and to understand money in a way that I would have understood it if I was still tied to that 95 in doubt and fear and guilt and shame and judgment and condemnation towards myself, having religious superstitious belief, because your belief is tied to how much money you can attract into your reality. Don't make nobody fool you. Your belief system would determine how much income you can have. That's why many people, they tie themselves down to 3 and 4 jobs, but never understand multiple sources of income. You see, my brother, my sisters, not until I became more aware and more self-realized that I could always now go into a supermarket and understand what is going on. I could walk into a department store and understand what is going on. I could walk into any business and understand what is going on. Because I was willing to unlearn and relearn and then reprogram my subconscious mind. I broke all the generational curses. I just waited for the wind to calm down a little. I just waited for the wind when it calm a little. And it was because of my mind cure. I cure my mind. And because I cure my mind, it helped me to relax, to focus, to concentrate. And it allowed me to put a book together. This was the very first book that I would have written. This book right here. This is the first book I would have written. Okay, I would have written 10 more books because I'm still writing. Okay, but I haven't published any book last year. Neither. I can't remember if I published any last year. Okay, but I guarantee I'll be publishing books this year. Okay, including children books too. Okay, yeah. This book, Meditate to Eradicate Poverty. And so I realized if you're going to eradicate poverty, you can't eradicate poverty by having 3 and 4 jobs. You have to understand the principle of income. And to understand the principle of income, you have to understand outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts. And understand real currency is a living, flowing energy that you have inside of you. And money is only the outshowing or the outpicturing of how you utilize that currency. So it goes back to thoughts. It goes back to the mind. So I've been studying and thinking, you know, what happened to us, melanated people? And I was looking for a solution. And something revealed to me. And when it revealed to me, a weight came off of me. And I believe that I definitely would have found the answer. And then a video was sent to me from someone close, very close, who I know. Okay. To prove it is true. And that video was, that person was playing with their child. And they was taping it. And then that non-physical being got caught by the lens of the camera. And it moves very fast. Doesn't matter how much I try to slow it down to see. You're only leaving with a light. You can see the being, hand, foot, everything. Okay? And I'm saying that to say that there are energy vampires on this planet that you don't see. They live in the fourth dimension. They live in the astral world. And more and more they're tying you to the astral, they're keeping you away from understanding the astral world or the non-physical world by using AI. That's why they're capturing people's voices, this, that, and putting everything with AI. Because they are leeching your energy, which is your currency. So the more they leech your energy or your currency, is the more they're going to keep you in poverty. Because poverty is that of the mind. So this book, Meditate to Eradicate Poverty, should be in every school in the Caribbean. But do you think they're going to allow it? They do not teach meditation in the schools. What they teach in the schools is devotion to an entity on the outside. And that's how they're feeding these energy vampires, which some people call archons. They're for real and true. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. Up to last night, they tried to fuck with me. He's an energy vampire, but he couldn't stay. In a second, he was gone because I have protection. So these energy vampires, they've been feeding on Africa a lot, and the people of Africa and the Caribbean. And how has that been done? They set up a colonial system through they've been inspired by these non-physical entities that are not even as intelligent as you when you awake are self-aware. These non-physical entities, they are rapists, mentally speaking. How are they like that? They use your formative years as a little boy, a little girl in school, from preschool way back. Because that's why all of these churches are preschools. This is not something that just happening just like that. You see, most of these churches are run by people who have occult knowledge. And the headquarters is in Cleveland, Tennessee. In America and all of these different places, these people live like gods because they know and believe that they are gods, but you do not believe and know that you are God and that you have multiple sources of income inside of you because you do not believe in yourself enough. Because you get trapped in a religious system that is draining your energy. Let me put it another way, in a simple way, for help you. I'm going to put it in a sexual way. Because everybody loves sex. Okay? But most people do not know what sex really means, especially religious, retarded people. Okay? Yeah, they are retarded. Mentally retarded. Okay? And when it comes to phallic, and the Bible is filled with a lot of phallic, just in case you don't know, because it's a book of mind science. And so, psychologically, sex is taking place. Spiritually, sex is taking place. And physically, sex is always taking place. So we actually live in a sex world and people are unconscious of it. So when you go wrong and you have guilt and shame and judgment towards yourself and towards your sexuality and all of that, and you make church dictates your sexuality. It dictates your energy. And your ability to attract wealth and money. Because remember, money is a living, flowing currency. Don't make them fool you. So they set up these different churches and these different denominations to keep you in economic slavery. So even and then they set up also the fraternity too. Okay, secret fraternities. Okay. So from both ends, they're giant from you. So they set up these men in the secret society to keep information from you. And when they set up their whatever businesses or whatever, they take it from you and then they take it from them too. The same thing with the church system. They set up the church system. So basically, these entities, these non-physical entities that are using these people who start these religious organizations like Awake, Jehovah's Witnesses and so on, Seventh-day Adventists, you name it. All of these different churches, especially in the Caribbean, that are owned by these people. Okay, and these people controlled by these entities. The reason why these people are so much influenced by these entities and the entity use these people because they are very low vibratory beings. These people I'm talking about, okay, they vibrate very low, okay, because they have less melanin. So because they have less melanin and they can vibrate so low, these entities can easily get in touch with them because you are magnetic and you are electrical. And they lock these entities, these non-physical entities that they call archons and so on, okay? Or whichever name you want to use. They lock in the fourth dimension. So you look at the lot of things from science and technology, things that we use and so on. They're fourth dimensional things. They come from the fourth dimension. And they trap you through religion, politics, and fake education. They trap you in the third dimension. So they're all one step ahead of you. And so when people join the secret brotherhood and so on, and opportunities are there, they're going to reach out to you first, who are part of their cabal, to tell you, take use of this opportunity. Let me give you a little example of what I'm speaking about. Do you realize, right, that there was people was becoming multi-millionaires and billionaires in the time of COVID, when other people was praying to some outside entity to help them because they were pressured to take the inoculation. And these religious people, I don't want it to lose anything at all. I want to win. Just want to win, settle a little bit, I will continue. Just waiting for the wind to settle a little bit, okay? Just waiting for the wind to settle a little bit. Just be a little patient with me. Yeah. As I was saying, yeah. And these archonic entities, they're running the banking system. They're running the credit unions and so on. And because these people who join their secret brotherhoods and so on, many of them know how to open up portals to go into the fourth dimension and to get in contact with these non-physical beings and entities, to feed them with the energy of the people, from the doubt, the guilt, the shame, the judgment, the condemnation. People will persecute people talking these things. People going in church on a Saturday and a Sunday, they're going to feed entities, but they don't know. They feed in non-physical entities. And it keep them in debt all the time to the banks, the credit union, and so on. And it keep them in cycle, going around and around and around. So they are stealing your energy, and as a result of this stealing your energy, they're stealing your ability to attract money. So your outgoing thoughts is limited. Your outgoing thoughts have no power, because it is your outgoing thoughts that must come back to you to give you the income. Because you're sending it out toward into the ether. And for you to send it out into the ether, you can't be guessing. You can't be in a state of believing. And most religious people are in a state of believing. You have to be in a state of trusting. You have to be in a state of thanksgiving because of your knowing, because of your knowledge. So when people say knowledge is power, they're not telling you what kind of knowledge is power. Self-knowledge is esoteric knowledge, is inner knowledge. When you understand that you have to live from inside out, you don't go chasing after 3 and 4 jobs. Don't make nobody fool you. You go chasing an idea is to give you multiple sources of income. Could you imagine if you desire to have 1 million sources of income, the idea will be shown and given to you. But if you want 4 jobs, you get 4 jobs, yeah? You work like a jackass. I wouldn't even say a jackass, a mule. Because a mule is when you cross a horse and a donkey. And you bring a hybrid. And you go outwalk the horse and you outwalk the donkey and you can't bring forth. A mule can't bring forth. That's why a religious mule can't bring forth. And when you keep your religion, then I must keep in economic slavery, mental slavery. So money is energy. If you do not understand the principle of water, how are you going to understand money? If you don't understand the principle of the sea, how are you going to understand money? The sea have no beginning and the sea have no end. Yet melanated people tell me, I know there have to be a beginning. I know there have to be a creator. Talking foolishness. So that's why our people living in financial, our people are more financially illiterate. And they need financial literacy. And the schools do not provide financial literacy. And the government don't provide financial literacy either. That's why most prime ministers in the Caribbean, they have a beggy mentality. They go and begging. And when the people give the energy to them, and then they give their energy take all the people energy and they give it to the crown. They sway on that crown. And the crown that they're swaying to is an archanic crown. Yeah, these people in England, children of the archons, these non-physical, fourth-dimensional, non-physical beings that lurk in the dark places of ignorance, where people carry around doubt and fear and guilt and shame and judgment and condemnation towards themselves. And they shut themselves out from the goodness of their higher self, their God self, their creative self. And they don't reflect nature that brings forth bountifully. Everything I just said there is a description of secular Christianity that they use to keep in stupidity. Do you realize all the churches in the Caribbean owned by some white man or some white woman? And you see thousands of people. If you see vehicle park up, and in the Caribbean, most people accomplishment is owning a vehicle and land and house, and that's all they could talk about. And the cycle keep going wrong. And when I look at the ruling class people, I say something has to be wrong. Why is these kind of people? Why they look this way? Why is all these families? The feeding of energy to energy vampires, these non-physical entities that you can't just see with the naked eye. Except if you're between that state of sleep and wake. If you're very meditative and you wake up, certain things could be seen to you. I remember between sleep and wake seeing entity already. I have experience of entities coming to me too. Good ones that look just like me, black, melanated. And I've met entities that doesn't look like me too. And they always want you to work for them. In the dream world. They always want to employ you. In the dream world. Yeah, it's no joke. They're offering you employment. Even in the dream world. Because they're playing a game. A master and slave. Here's the master. Here's where the master is. The mind controls the body. So if you do not understand the game of life, you will never understand the game of income. How to have multiple sources of income. Not having many jobs. That's foolish. I mean, it really hurts my heart when I hear melanated people talking about they having 3 and 4 jobs. That is you killing yourself to take care of yourself. The rich don't work for money. Money work for them. Money is supposed to be your slave. But you make yourself a slave to money. You are master. So the secret of income be hidden from you. That's why in school they teach you profit and loss. So all you think about profit, oh, I want to make a profit, or make a profit. And they try to get rich quick, overnight. That's why, I mean, something I have to call name, I can't help. That's just me. That's why Myron Golden has to talk about how much millions he make by selling people certain things. Fuck me, Myron Golden could tell you to charge you 20, 40, 50,000 US and people willing to pay. And he play the religious game with them. He make sure he get a religious following. I mean, I just have to speak the truth. It's just the kind of person I am. Even if I'm in a religious setting, I still gonna speak the truth. Because I'm on a platform where people speak a bunch of religious stuff to people. But when I get on that platform, I don't ever speak anything religious to deceive the people. I speak the truth. Because I believe that everything is within you. I believe that everything exists in consciousness. I believe that you are to love yourself and believe in yourself. And to believe in God is to believe in yourself, your inner self. So if you're going around joining church and joining religious organization and making a fool of yourself and saying you believe in God and you do not believe in yourself and you're looking at the outside, you've been a fool. And you deserve to be poor, broke and miserable. And you deserve to be owned. And you deserve to be the borrower and not the lender. You deserve to be beneath and not above. So focus on income. Don't focus on profit and loss. Income. How much you have coming in. But how much you have coming in will mean how much you're sending out. So if you don't meditate, if you don't visualize, if you don't actualize, if you don't write down things, if you don't take action, if you don't learn to shut your mouth, how do you believe your income gonna change? Some people do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect to get a change. That is insanity. Some people go to the same job over and over and over, going to the same job that they don't love. And fail to be honest with themselves and think their income will change. No. Your income cannot change until you change. That's what I'm saying the whole time. So if you want to have multiple sources of income, and I'm talking about multiple sources of income, I'm not talking about 4 and 5 jobs. I am talking about having 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000, 500,000 sources of income, even a million sources of income and so on. If you have 5 million sources of income, you could become a billionaire. If you have 10 million sources of income, but you don't hear people talk like how I talk in here. You don't hear people speaking about, for example, I have a man used to speak named Bob Proctor. He died, a white man. Okay, he used to speak about multiple sources of income, but he never really go into details to really show you the multiple sources of income. But these people understand multiple sources of income, and multiple sources of income goes back to you understanding that you are a multidimensional being, that you are infinite divine being. You can't have these fucked up belief system and expect to attract the kind of abundance that you want to attract in your life. You have to kill that system because it's a curse. It's generational curse being passed down on most melanated people. I know what I'm saying. People talking about Yahuwah and Yashia and this and that, and which word was in alphabet and what wasn't in alphabet, and these non-physical entities just feeding off that kind of those kind of foolish, stupid energy. They ever learning but never coming into the knowledge of truth, which is the knowledge of their real self. They just yapping, yap. That is why people doesn't embrace a man who could give a good speech like Farrakhan and the many others. They like brilliant speakers, not truth tellers, people who speaking from their raw experience. When I speak about non-physical entity feeding off energy, experience I'm talking about, So if you join yourself to Christianity or Islam or whatever, where Farrakhan and them teaching and preaching, we think you're any different? When you believe so much in Farrakhan that you were willing to give your life for Farrakhan and them kind of people, you think you're any different to the man who will come down in the Caribbean in a warship, go blow up boat and kill people, children, while Trump drinking, sipping his vodka, wherever he's sipping, drinking his coffee, and Trump coming on, Trump boasting about, oh, narco terrorists, we do this, we do that. Trump didn't do shit. The people, children, doing their dirty work for them. You see what I'm talking about? With arcanic influence, non-physical influence. When they're living in survival mode, that's why they don't want it to know the secret of income. Income. Man and woman having sex, they say, I'm going to come. That is the act of creating. You talk about come. And then they give you pornography and give you all kind of come. And you're feeling that. And the real come supposed to take place inside of you to multiply. Because it's same sexual energy, but you're not using it psychologically and spiritually. Because all your wells have been blocked up through secular Christianity and stupidity, whereby they have you looking outwardly instead of you be looking inwardly. And it's so bad that people will be saying, oh, we are the church. And then they turn around and say, I go into church. Idiots. So I'm doing this video because I want to help people all around the world. Do you know the amount of people in Africa who do not have any knowledge of income? That is associated with the mind? That you have incoming thoughts and outgoing thoughts, and your outgoing thoughts will determine your incoming thoughts to give you your income? And your sexual activities that is taking place within, psychologically and spiritually, to give you your babies. Some people only know about physical babies. They don't know about psychological and spiritual babies. Your mind is the greatest tool you can possess on this planet. It is a treasure. And I'm saying once you find your treasure, you find the mint. All over the world, they have all different kind of money mint, but it's one mint. Once you find that mint of conscious and awareness, the mint of knowing who you are, the mint of all power, that show you your true identity, your divinity. You're using a divine mint to print money by understanding how the mind works, by understanding that thoughts become things, by understanding that we become what we think about most of the time. When All Nightingale did it, The Stranger's Secret, and do a record, you think it's brilliant? He was brilliant. It's because he had esoteric knowledge and he knew what the Bible is all about. While our dotish people going around talking about Jesus coming soon and looking for some sky daddy and looking for some man to come from the sky, these people knew that is a book of mind science. And that is why they give you churches to chop your soul in the fourth dimension. I know what I'm speaking about here. All these things are things I already done go into these walls and done shown all these things, you know. The chop in the fourth dimension. In the fourth dimension where the chop is a place they call Woodland. But because of your melanin, you could go beyond Woodland. But as long as you're a follower, you get chopped in a circle. You're going wrong and wrong and wrong. So it doesn't matter which one of the religious organization you're following as a melanated person. The key is to find the river of currency that has been lying dormant within you. But to get it flowing, you have to activate the inner sun, which is a spark inside of you. And that spark can be activated if you're still following church and believing Jesus and believing a sky daddy and looking for some man and believing some historical thing when there's only now. So whether you say Yahshua Yahuwah, whatever name they want to tell you, once you vibrate out of the past and the future and live in the now, you damn deceive. That's why them fellas who talk about Hebrew Israelite and all of them, they don't go check who. Hebrew Israelite and they have some who Sabbath, they call themselves no them guy from Malachi York and them. Malachi is York. I assistant Trinidad again, she said mix up in that, you know. Remember she used to reach out to me at the time about Black Jesus and all of that. She get caught up in get caught up with her, and she husband. With Malachi York and them. No, yeah, the Wu Sabbath people talking. You have to know, you know what kind of food you eat there. Yo, sometimes I don't even want to call they, but I just have to do what I have to do. All the time a bunch of knowledge thing where they don't know, thing where they never experience, and people following that because they sound good, they look good, they just good, everything. And people get carried away charisma. They're no different than a preacher. That's why I tell people don't follow me now. Because me not tell you to follow me. Me I teach you how to find yourself. Me I teach you how to believe in yourself. Me I tell you, Bono, oh, Malachi Yaka. Me don't do that. We point you outside. Don't bother them. Don't bother with these kind of people, you know. Pointing you on the outside. That's why I see certain people could feel free to rub shoulder with them. Then I rub shoulder with me, boy. You see, one man's favorite drink could be another man's poison. Just like one man God is another man devil. I know this Jesus that they give black people is the devil. That keeping them in economic slavery and mental slavery, keeping them in stupidity. I know it. I know it. For centuries, the Caribbean has the same educational system that goes all the way back to the plantation, and they never change it. With the morning devotion, 12 o'clock devotion, and evening devotion, and how's this devotion to this idol on the outside? And you think your income ain't affected? It must affect your income. That's why even people who go in church and they get money, they're going back into the system. I know my coach was running a business, and she used to laugh at me when I speak. And she used to confess to me that she does make sure full of envelope and money to get to she church. She used to laugh at me, but she passed. She didn't live too long after. She passed. That's why in my country, some of the best lands, and people don't know that, you know, the church own a bunch of lands. But most people don't know that the church own that. Schools too. I used to attend a school called Bishop's College School that owned by a church, the Anglican Church. That's why if you do not understand the secret of income and how it relates to your thoughts, because you're an energetic being, you operate on energy, money is energy. If you do not understand money on that level, you'll never understand multiple sources of income. You think it's having 3 and 4 jobs. No. Having multiple sources of income, you're talking about having like 100,000 different sources of income. If you could read between the lines what I'm trying to tell you, having 500,000 different sources of income, if you could read between the lines what I'm trying to tell you. When you think out those items on the supermarket shelf are, they're sources of income, motherfuckers. They're sources of income. And then when a melanated person get some money, they talk, oh, I shopping at Whole Foods. I've never been to America, you know, but I know these things. Oh, I shopping at Whole Foods. Oh, I stopping at Louis Vuitton. I buy Louis Vuitton. I buy with the next brand. I try to remember the next brand though. And these families who own these kind of so-called brands or whatever, and they go to cheap places. We have cheap labor, whether is it Indonesia, China, whatever, and they pay the people fucking just like how they run in the sandals in my country and have the people like slave having them singing songs. So when the people come, the guests come, they go, yes, leave. And I'm sorry for those people. So bad. Because the politicians tell them, oh, provide an opportunity for you. You have to provide opportunity for yourself. That's why you need to understand the secret of the art of income. Not no profit and loss. Fuck that. The only profit and loss is basically the religious men who go in on the pulpit. Them who are profit, and the sheep. Them who are in the place of the loss, and they don't know it. That's the only profit and loss. But income, because outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts. Outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts. Think about that. And money was first a thought. First an idea, first imagine. Who could fool me? Nobody can rub shit in my mouth. I grew up with my grandmother and they used to always talk about that. They said the hardest thing is when you don't know. And that's happening to our people. Okay? And I was sent to teach our people. I wasn't sent to come in this world to try to chase after money. So some cabal or some secret society could buy me. I for sale. I'm not like that. That's why I ain't gonna sit and forget certain views and I hear people say, oh, I hear a man on a date just say, oh, I was only doing that because I wanted to go viral. What the fuck? Yeah, some people do anything to go viral. I be my true self, my real self. When you be your real self, they either shadow ban you, or they block you, or they do some sort of thing. They want to shut you up, or they don't want they make sure that your message will go to the masses and help to wake up the masses. And you think it's people doing it? It's the entities they behind the people, you know, the non-physical entities they behind the people, you know. That always want to keep us divided and so on, you know. But I'm telling you, these non-physical entities, they're very, 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 very closer to people who are less melanated. Because they want to feast off your melanin. Your melanin the send off a certain radiation, you know. You think I just talking? When I was 17 years and I was given the rainbow. That's the coat of many color you read in the Bible with Joseph. When it comes to energy, vibration, frequency, and so on, when it comes to earth, wind, water, fire, if you ain't see carbon and you ain't see a melanated man, something wrong with you. Do you realize that you better off being closer to the sun than to the snow? People even down here, if we want to go say they go in England, Canada, America, and for say, oh, I want better myself. No, you better yourself from here. Here's where you better yourself. Hey, here's where you better yourself, bro. Learn the art of income. Income. Why thinking of income? People keep missing in and out. Income and outcome. The salary you're getting is the outcome. Because that's the effect. You're the freaking cars. Bro, this thing could go so deep. Like people really understand. All I talk about is income. More people. Oh, I travel so much. I travel to this country, I travel. Yeah. And the airlines getting bigger and fatter. I ain't saying you shouldn't travel, you know. But make sure your cup full and running over, bro. I'm not telling you. By getting certain knowledge to bring multiple sources of income, multiple sources. As I tell you, this man is say, speak about multiple sources of income, but he not tell you that multiple sources of income be 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 sources of income. That's how you have to think big. They talk about magic of thinking big. You have to start to think about a million sources of income. If you sit down and start to have a million sources of income, it can come to you. Bro, I already have my ideas that I've been working on. You understand? But I stick in with things that I love to do too, okay? And I see how easy it is for you to get an idea that could influence a million lives. And that's gonna bring multiple sources to you. Because as you give, so shall you receive. It's a principle. That is why when you come on social media and you realize that the world is run by propaganda and who control communication, you understand, they could control the world. You realize when you communicate that sort of way, you realize the certain result you're gonna get. You understand, you ain't gonna go viral. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't gonna do that. Those people on YouTube and say algorithm, even the algorithm become prejudiced towards people like we. You understand? When you start to understand that, then your ideas and start to work for you, they start realizing, I depending on that, That's why some people, they blow up on YouTube and they get a bunch of money and they do shit with it. Shit. They do nothing with it. Come easy. So when they shadow ban me, they do me a favor, man. Even if it's $1, I'm grateful, but I take that $1 and turn it around, man. And multiply it ass. Because why? I'm a multidimensional being. Come on. Right now, as I speak it, I you know what I'm doing? A battle against the Archons. I kicking the Archons' asses. These four-dimensional freaking beings. You understand? I kicking their asses. And those of you who listening to me and who vibrate with me and who resonate with what I'm saying, we kicking the Archons' asses. We kicking the Archons, these non-physical entities that can't come around you, bro. When you start to change your belief system, you stop calling upon some fucking sky daddy and start talking about Jesus and Yahuwah and Yashua and all of that. You stop talking on that and you realize everything is inside of you. And Archons can't come. They can't feast anymore on your energy. Because they want those low vibratory energy. That's why they're using social media. They know what they're going to send viral. For feed off people energy, give people gossip, give them jammer, give them war. You remember the time at the pandemic, big pandemic happening, eh? The Fauci ain't gonna save the world. They put in start a war. Fuck, that stop all the COVID. Yeah, by the time of COVID, they have to put it. Even Ukraine, you know, man. And then after, and anytime at the pandemic, all the religious prophet and prophetess and whoever they say call themselves, they, you, God wasn't speaking to them anymore, you know. No, they did not know prophecy. They did not know the most quietest bunch you ever hear. And many of them go and get their ass inoculated on their shoulder, get choked. Bunch of slaves on the planet. So my brother and my sister, clean up your mind, man. It's how to vibrate on multiple sources of income. Speak it every day in life. Multiple sources of income. I attract multiple. You dance and all. Multiple. You have fun. Half of these non-physical entities. They don't love the party and joy. No, they love if we go church dancing and they can make it go church dance under guilt and doubt and fear and judgment and condemnation. You know that's what they do? They love when you fake it. They love people when they fake. So they people in church and say, oh, like in the time of COVID, a bunch of assholes have had a bunch of masks in church. I used to go right down by church this and watch them and laugh. But I used to have fun. Dancing and clapping for Jesus. Fake joy. These motherfuckers in my brain have fake joy. I'm telling you real joy, man. When you know yourself and you find yourself. And you could give a politician the middle finger and a preacher the middle finger. You understand? So we have to hold it. This camera should have, this should be on a stand. I can put up the two middle finger. I can only put up one right now. I put up one here and then I put up another one here. You telling me about? Man, when you wake up in the man, it's real joy, you know. You don't have money, you don't have to depend on no money and this and that for a joy. You understand? Even if they shout about me and they say, oh, I only get in the last 28 days, I only get one subscriber, I good. I still teaching. I will still teach. As long as the platform is here for me to teach, I still teach. Because I'm not motivated by views and how much money you can make and AdSense and all of that. No. They're motivated by that. And I know people who listen to me, some of them go support my work. They won't go and get my books. They go and hook me up. They might do a one-on-one with me, or they might just go on my page and support my work. You understand? The work must go on. I know those who call and send me. I know. So my brother, my sister, master the art of income. Keep coming in. But to wrap it up here, and then I don't read the comments. Think about the sea. Think about the sea. Same wave that come in, it going back out. Think about the correspondence. And think about a circle. Zero. When you start to come, you come from a zero. That's the energy right there. From a zero come 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You start with zero. I start with zero now. Hey. I start with zero. You realize you could change your bank account? Just change the numbers, change the zero. If your bank account only has 20, you could carry to 50, you could carry to 60. It just changes the zero. And it will happen. Because the idea will come to you. But you understand the art of income. In. Come. It is sexual. the comments. I hope what I'm saying making sense. I see some people saying yes, which means makes sense to them. Okay, they don't want you to know this world is a sex world, man. It's a sex world. Everything is sexual. They fool you. Make you think about, I don't want to have sex without marriage. Which kind of marriage? The fuck you think a man reading from a book and say repeat after me that's marriage? Nah. The real union takes place in the bed, man. And you can use it to get anything you want. You can use it to multiply and create. Get the kind of job you want, everything. Sex, yeah, you can use it for that. And trust people say, oh, sex magic is not the devil. The devil is you. The man is seeing in the mirror. That like to gossip and all of that, that's the devil, man. Self-doubt and all that, that's the devil right there. You the devil. And you God too. So I'm teaching you how to live like a God. Understanding the principle of income. Someone, okay. Okay, my moderator says here, these teachings go deeper in my book, okay? So that is our invitation. You check out my books, the links down in the description and support the work, okay? I'm definitely encouraging you to support the work. It's all about remembrance, not learning. You see, people get caught up with learning, and they fail to realize we came here, and everything was our whole slate was erased. You're born here in a state of amnesia. Let me point that down. You're born here in a state of amnesia, forgetfulness, and you have to remember. I'm here to remind you. So you must remember. When you wake up out of the dream, then you start to remember. Come to a place of remembrance, and when they do, they trick you and give you a book and tell you, oh, when you get the Holy Spirit, He can bring all things to your remembrance. And you never been up in a literal upper room, but you believe it's secular history. You see how stupid people be? This is upper room here. We can hear the mighty rushing wind, you know, like a storm wind when it happen. The tongues are cloven fire overhead, and when you bounce your crown chakra, boy, they can't check me. They can't check me. They know they can't check me. They know they can't check me. They could oppose me. You understand? But they know they can't check me. You understand? And they know if they oppose me, they know still I wrong. They know, boy, the man, yeah, he experience, you know. Oh, yes, he could have known. In a part of we cabal, man. They say, come on, man. He's not part of we, man. Oh, he could know that. I Caribbean, he grew up. Anybody who grew up in Caribbean say, nah. And he not part, nah, the man. Somebody will say, oh, he's a divergent. A man call me so, you know. Man, I tell you, these people so trapped in these so-called brotherhoods where they join. The real brotherhood is all of us who have the experience, have the awakening within. I want to say yes, yep. I want to thank this person who donated this for 99. It means a lot. Okay, Santana Wall, eat. Okay, person just and the vibration of eternity. Right through. Eat. Infinity all the way. Okay, I want to thank you very much. And that's who you are, infinite being. So money is supposed to be an infinite thing for you. But I can't ask scarcity in my life again, you know. No, I can't go broke ask case of money. No, I have money altar all over yours. I have money altar all over my house. I call them altar. Just put them there, money there, money there. It's like abundance. It's like a river just flowing. Money have to come to you. The servant. Learn income, thoughts, incoming thoughts and outgoing thoughts. How much thoughts you sending out? Now, oh, Jesus coming soon. Wake your stupid ass up. No man coming for you to save you. While Bill Gates said them widening their scope. While Elon Musk said them widening their scope to control your ass and try to bring more archons into this sphere to feed off the energy of people, especially melanated people because they're carrying that melanin. Where do you get your information and teaching? I get my information and teaching from within, from my experience. I draw out from that which is within because I'm a real educated person. Any person who self-realize, self-actualize, you wake up, You just trying out from that which is within. The well that never run dry. It's inside you. Okay? So they are getting it from. It's always a download. Keep getting download and I pour it out to you. Okay? Someone say, yep, everything is spiritual. Of course. I could give this person a hug. Everything is spiritual. Don't let nobody fool you. Money is spiritual. That's what we say in the whole time. So it means you lack your spiritual essence if you're broke and poor. So why so much of our people are so broke and poor? They lack the spiritual essence. So why these people in Israel and who they call themselves Jews, why they have so much money? They keep the Kabbalah knowledge and they keep the Zohar and so on to themselves and give you Jesus and tell you they deny Jesus. The Savior. You understand? They check you. They check you. That is why, for example, let me say this. For anybody who into like fitness and anybody who know about bodybuilding, the reason why The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the reason why they never sell the Olympia, if you know anything about Olympia, the Olympia brand, you must know the reason why they didn't sell the Olympia brand. Then this guy, Paperback David, he's from Iran. Why do you think they never sell the Olympia brand either? Joe Weeder, and Ben Weeder, to Jew. He thief, Robbie Robinson. Picture, a black man named Robbie Robinson. With the hand also. That image they use as the Weeder brand was Robbie Robinson. And he put on his head by Robbie Robinson body. He loved the black man build so much. He had envy the man so much. These people envious, you know. Robbie Robinson, the melanin. Robbie Robinson get caught up too and get, sell himself short with these kind of pale skin women and all and shit there, you understand? But you have to put call a spade. And he used the brand Universal and tell Robbie Robinson, you a nigga, who gonna listen to you against the Weeder and use the man body and put on his head as his brand, the Weeder brand. These people, that's why they never sell the Rock, the Olympia brand. Neither they never sell Paperback David. So everything's spiritual, bro. Money spiritual. When you understand money, how spiritual money be, you could never go talk about Jesus coming soon. Yeah, so the monkey, that kind of monkey thinking. That's why I'm backing over calling melanated people who believe in Jesus monkey, because they're monkey mind. You're in your monkey mind. You're unorganized mind, You're real stupid. Bro. When you realize how stupid you have to be for be a religious person looking outwardly and then turning around and asking people if they believe in God, and you ask a question that you don't even understand, well, you're real stupid, You're real totish. Someone here say, so you need a positive outcome to receive income. You have to figure it out for yourself. If you think religion have anything positive to offer for you, well then, you could join yourself to one and follow one. It's simple. If you plant pumpkin, you could never reap watermelon. That's how simple it is. Have you ever seen anyone turn literal water into wine? You know how stupid you have to be to believe a man turn literal water into wine? You know how stupid you have to be? You know how stupid you have to be to think a literal man walk on water? The sun always walking on the water. Whenever the sun rises, you walk on the water. You have to be very stupid to believe a S-O-N existed before the S-U-N. You be very stupid. Nothing new under the sun. Really stupid. Man, look, I believe somebody, as I say, let me say it again because I'll come to a close. I can't be a Farrakhan, nice speech and intellectual. No, you have to call black people stupid who have certain belief. You have to tell them they're stupid. I'm not here to make you feel nice. You're dumb. Yeah, monkey. I might have started to put up some monkey. Get some pictures, some judge people and put a monkey behind them. TDJX, all of them and the monkey. Monkey behavior. You just get on. I'm playing a keyboard and they dancing and care. Monkey behavior. Somebody have to speak the truth. Monkey behavior. Monkey behavior. We always be at the bottom of the barrel. Understand the principle of income. Income. People just think about money. People just profit and loss, as I tell you that their brainwash is quote about profit and loss. It's about income, it's about the mind, it's about the thoughts. You don't need no positive outcome. Everything starts within. You will be positive within. The outcome is a result of your income. That we understand. Everything starts within. Some people never catch what I'm saying. This go over some people's head. Someone says, same in Africa. Beg, and beg. Yes. All of the prime minister beggy mentality. I heard a president of Ghana. He went China with a YouTuber. And they would admire. Okay, so you could check out the channel and find that one day. You will realize I don't lie. I don't lie, you know. I always tell you the truth. And he's still referring to people as our colonizers. Our colonizers did this. Our colonizers did that. Our colonizers. I'm there and I'm looking at this president of Ghana. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. But our colonizer. Yo, I'm not colonized. I'm free. I've always been free. I would rather accept fucking death than slavery. You know how many accept death than slavery? Accept death. I'd rather accept death than slavery, bro. Just read on these comments and then I'll close. Because I have a lot of stuff to do. Okay? Someone said, yes, Reverend Ike taught on a lot of what you're teaching as well. Yeah, Reverend Ike did. Okay? And when Reverend Ike used to attract a bunch of Rolls Royce and so on, these white newscasters and journalists used to want to say they interview him and calling him greedy and asking him if he think he's greedy and so on. But Reverend Ike had a little bit of the esoteric knowledge and so on, you know, but the people were so much into Christianity, he had to use the and he was into Christianity at the time too when he really find the truth and so on, you know, and he tried to just make a little switch and so on, used to have them, you know, visualize and so on and so on, you know, but it was a good start, okay, but we have to keep expanding, you know what I mean? Someone say you have all your teeth, never trust it with a missing side tooth. Nah, I have missing ones. Okay, I ain't lie to you. I have missing ones. Okay, I have missing ones. Don't get tricked. I have missing ones. Okay, you can't see to the full back of my mouth. I have missing ones. Okay, someone say greetings, BlackMadGuru. This lecture today is one that companies pay for their workers to hear. That is so true. You are freely sharing, but not coming from a religious perspective. Our people will not accept. This is so true. These are the kind of things that people to be honest, this is so true. People that do these kind of speech to corporations is that the only part they don't expose the religious part of it. They call it self-development and all of these things. They call it different names. Training, they have training. People go on retreats to get this kind of thing that I'm teaching. And sometimes people don't even want it. Sometimes some people not. Our people are so poor sometimes that they can't even give without anybody ask. Nobody not supposed to ask. You're supposed to give freely. That's why I don't like to ask that much. I was to give freely because but I give. That's why things just come to me from all different sources, from all different all different ways. But if I was to depend on what I'm doing here and so on alone, come on, I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I remember one time a man reached out to me and so on one-on-one. He paid me some money and so on, and this man couldn't believe how simple these things are that I was explaining, that this man was willing to give another man was offering him books plus some other stuff over $15,000. And this man telling me like if I hide in something, if I want more money, just say I want more money and all of that. I was a brother. Eh? I couldn't help him. Because when you believe you hide in something, you believe like there's a magic formula and this and that. Yo, bro, the thing is so simple. All the mind, when you start to master your mind, start to understand what's going on. That's why I can't speak without, talk about race and this kind of thing, because I grew up in a colonial society. When you grow up with a colonial mindset from start and all of that, and your eyes open, there's certain things that just can't compromise and hide. There's something you have to say. Because you see the governmental system for what it is. You see the religious system for what it is. You see the school system for what it is. So people, please don't get angry with me something when I talk certain things. Okay, let me just read down these comments. Through all in the, someone says, through all in the name of building your mansion in heaven, yeah. And not know that the mansion is inside of you. All of these ideas. Bro, I can guarantee you, if a person keep listening to me and keep resonating with what I'm saying and deep within it, they really, really, really resonate. I'm telling you, you get some visitation in the night. Ancestors gonna visit you and ideas can just come into you. And the only how you ain't gonna make it in life is if you don't act on the ideas, you're lazy. Most people, all my life people call me lazy because I never believe in busting my ass. But I always believe that laziness is from here. It's your mind. Lazy to think. Most people lazy to think, but they walk. Oh, I'm doing 3 jobs. I'm doing 4 jobs. They're walking. But then I realize that they're lazy to think they're willing. They're lazy. Lazy to what? Think. Someone said hi. Hi to you. Greetings. Lot of commerce where you live. No, there's not a lot of commerce where I live, because where I live, most people are not trained in that aspect. 99.999% of the people in my country teach their children to go to school and get educated. You can't say nothing about the education system, and people hate me for that, You can't say nothing about the education system, You can't. People, when you live in a society where the academians believe them is it, you can't speak to them. I remember some time ago, I must be about a year or 2, I had to pull up a man who taught me in school, I tried to have a conversation with him, and he said, oh, you can't teach me, I taught you in school. I said, fuck, you teach me in school, you teach me shit. I said, school is the only thing that set you up to get a job and all of that. I deal with him. But afterwards, he always used to go good since I leave school and everything. Me used to go good. But then afterwards, he started to get his ego. I said, what you BM politicians and all kind of thing. I had to really pull him up. I said, you the BM politician, make politician trick you, tell you they don't give you certain thing and you get something and you're angry. You need to be more in gratitude and all of that. Deal with them. I mean, see my short one and all that. But you tell me, I taught you in school. Yeah, it's an ego thing. Academia. Fuck man, we live in a country where academias ban. Call them academias. Okay? That's why when I use word, I don't care what some people that do that in the English language. I hear a man use a word and say intelligence. And the woman in them and the dating show was laughing at him and want to chant him and pop balloon and say there's no such a word. And the man said he just wanted to say intellectual intelligence or something like that. Right? But fuck, you could make up any word you want to make up. All of these different words they use in the medical field is because a man with a certain name, he discovered this and that, and they use those names. What are you talking about? That's why I tell you this kind of thing about education at school. You could really turn you a fool if you're not careful. So they're not much calm people commerce mind. Most of the light-skinned people in my country more really commerce because they pass down secret from lip to ears to the people and so on and all of that. And that's what they do now on the islands. You know what I mean? You have to see this and you know what I'm talking about. Someone said, my brother, this message is so deep, yeah, that I fear that unless someone resonates on this frequency, he or she will not understand. No, they will not understand. This is truly a masterclass on empowerment. Yes, it is. I tell you, when it really resonated with me, the secret about income. And why in school they don't talk about income, they talk about income. It's profit and loss. Ask anybody who went to school. They teach you POB, principle of business. They tell you about profit and loss and account profit and loss. This that profit and loss, profit and loss. And when you really check out profit and loss, it's church folks, you know. The man and the public, the profit and the people then loss. That's real profit and loss. They don't want you to understand income. But when you study the mind, you understand what income is all about. You understand outgoing towards an income in. You then start to understand income. Yo! It's the thoughts you're sending out. It's a bro. It's where you vibrating. Okay? I don't want to go to us today. Trust me. I have so much to do. How do we create money? Alters. Just put money anyway. I use my bookshelf. And my bookshelf has so much of different shelf. I put money everywhere. Everywhere. So it's like it don't run out. It's money. Sometimes I run my 3 year plus little daughter and she playing in money, doing money, touching, make dropping down money, this, that. Put them in anyway. You know how much time when my girl gonna wash clothes, money? I say, oh God. We say, abundance. We say, money. And then my girl say, I remember when I was small and so on and things was real hard. We used to go by some people who was far much more better financially and my mother used to go there to wash, but she used to glad to go wash, and my auntie too. And they used to find out some money in people's pocket. He said, no, I understand. Sometimes if I wear pants that have 4 or 5 pockets of the money in all the pockets, and you don't even know, you go home because you're not studying money, you're not chasing money, chasing you. You go and take off your clothes and watch. You say, oh, just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, my girl come say, what is money you doing in my pocket in her clothes? In her money is a slave, not a master. My brother, my sister's income, it goes back to your spirituality. That what I say. That's what I am saying the whole time. So nobody can fool me when I tell you Christianity, secular Christianity, and they keeping black people in stupidity and mental slavery and economic slavery. When they try to shout about me, the thing they try to do, touch my economics. You can't touch my economics, bro. Foreign currency, you can't touch my economics. I depend on you. No. You realize if all people decide to come off a year to take it to shut down YouTube. They shut them down. Because they try to shut down your intelligence with AI, you know. That's why AI for, you know, shut down your intelligence, you know. Your astral intelligence, you know. The astral world, you know, because, you can't go in the astral world to fight a physical battle, you know. As if you did any physical, you know. Okay. I don't say, you know. So what's this here? How do we create money? Oh, yeah. I'll just put the money anyway, man. Put them down. If you want to get somebody to build something for you too, and you just put down money everywhere, all over your house. All over your house. Someone say Robbie Robinson was better than Frank Zane and Arnold Sergio Oliver was a god among men. Of course, this person know they're talking about. Of course, because Sergio come from Cuba. Yeah, man, I could go into a bunch of things, but time. It's our Frank Zane is more aesthetic and say, Robbie Robinson, boy. You talking about? It's still happening up to this day. So when people think racial bias and things happening in our sports and this and that, you know what I mean? They even the yam that you say more than eat, they will test that. You think they're easy? Yeah, someone mentioned a currency. Yeah, your currency is the energy. We think I use it to talk to your currency. Where do you think I feel hungry? I ain't nothing for the morning. I just drink a cup of bush tea, just bush. Okay? That's all. Just to get something warm. I hungry. Why? Feeding on that currency. It come from the sun energy. And it's inside of you. So no black people have no right to be poor, broke and miserable, having melanin. It means something is wrong with your belief system. Is that the only thing we need to fix now? Bro, listen to me. The only thing black people need to fix is their belief system, because if you fix your belief system, you can fix your mind. It's your fucking mind. It's your mind. Mind your business. Your mind is your business. It's your mind you have to fix. About, oh, I have 4 jobs. I like watch those dating shows, you know. That she have 4 jobs. And oh, I'm a serial entrepreneur. If you're a serial entrepreneur, teach your brothers and sisters how to be that too. And most of them can't spell the word entrepreneur, but if a serial entrepreneur, you're more like a serial killer to me. Okay, I will study electronics, even if he was treading waters. Okay. You already electrical and magnetic being. Trust me. You see, you're like a magnet to pull the money. You're like a magnet. Okay. And when you realize it's currency and it is flowing just like a river flows, and all river it empties in the sea, and the sea have no beginning and no end. And a river is not really a true river unless it ends in the sea. You know? Think about that. Currency. Currency. It's a sea. I know end. Okay, get an abundant flow coming. I don't give nothing to no church and no pastor. Oh, so why you think you have to give to some pastor, get church for prosper? No, I have other ways and means to give back into my community, into my society, and so on. You understand? And while I give in, it come in. And you're giving out, you go out, you know, but it just coming because what? The ideas. You can't run out of those things. That's why some of us in these later times, when we come to ourselves, they call us what, late bloomers. If you check a lot of men who discover certain things, like you check electricity and so on, you check even Kentucky Fried Chicken, all these kind of people who come up with these kind of ideas, it wasn't, they already past the age of 45, 50, 60, 65, all things. You understand? While our people thinking about retirement, oh, I go work and then retire and travel the world. No, man, it's more than that. A wise man will leave an inheritance for children. That's why I'm glad the children who choose me for coming to this world to my family. Because a bunch of knowledge and everything I store for them. Someone say hi to you. Long time to teach, yeah. But I want to close just now. Okay, I really wanted to close when it was just an hour. But this thing's so sweet, you just keep like going on and on sometimes. Okay, doesn't AI try to help you? Yeah, people doesn't ask me that question, right? For example, I just use the bank, but I don't make the bank use me. I use fucking AI, but I don't make AI use me. Someone wanted to attack me, yeah, before the shadow ban. Okay. Straight from YouTube. Okay. Oh, you use AI. Yeah, of course I use fucking AI, but I won't make AI use me. I'm talking about how when AI started to use people. Just like when the bank uses people. I use the bank. Come on. Yeah, I'm not gonna play. I'm not a hypocrite, you know. I'm not a hypocrite. I tell you the honest truth. Okay? You use AI to do certain things, but never make AI use you. AI gonna control a lot of people. Some people willing to hook themselves up to that. You say, oh, nah, you might doubt. You among the people who take the choke in 2020, 2022? I hear people who say they wasn't going to take it or not. Survival mode, when you live in survival mode. And you know, anytime of the pandemic, I was the happiest because I had so much time. My business was done, and I was rejoicing that my business wasn't operated because I couldn't go in the woods and meditate. Yes, meditate. This is no joke. I remember we used to go meditate, and the only thing I used to like watching social media for entertainment was a thing named Survivor. The other thing named Survivor. A serious thing where people win like $1 million and people willing to do anything for $1 million. I used to watch Survivor. That's what we used to do. Someone say, I appreciate you and your teaching so much. Thank you very much. Okay, just read on this comment and then I'm definitely going to close. Nimrod says, my brother, you are teaching liberation and freedom. Okay, liberation, whichever. Okay, yeah. Religion teaches dependence. Yeah, that's true. Which our people have been taught to accept blindly. That's true. That is so true, my brother. That is so true. Our people don't, and what they fail to realize. Let me tell you something, as I come to a close here. I am praying. And when I say praying, I'm not talking about going on my knees and talk to no God on the outside. That there will be a political party that will rise up in the Caribbean that will be willing to change the school system from the old colonial system that it comes from. Remove all, and they like to bring down America, people in the Caribbean, to say, oh, they don't say praise, that's why the children is like that. They do the devotion in schools in America. No. The children are more educated in terms of understanding who they are when they're not been programmed with religion from an early stage. Believe you me. Yeah, so I am longing for some political party that will rise up, that would remove all the colonial names out of my country. Up to this man, I was driving, I see some of these tourists that came to the islands. They ride by the what you call the Iron Man. The Iron Man is a statue of colonialism with a man with a gun on top, but is a soldier from World War II. It's a picture of a white man, a long-nosed boy. You understand? And our people themselves realize it. I remember one time I see a white man who come into this country, go and buy the Iron Man and washing it down with a power wash. The people need to wake up. The name of the streets. You understand? A street should be carrying my name and other people's name. And I had things to do in my island. Okay? So when I reach out and you resonate with me and so on, and you support me in any way, I appreciate it. Whether you send me a book or two, I appreciate it. Whether it's money, you appreciate it. But I know it's not just for me alone. I want to help people. I help our people. And I would. Okay, in many different ways. Okay. Philanthropy is something that is definitely a part of me. Yeah, but religion is crippling our people, man. Dependency, man. And they accept it blindly. Well said, my brother. Someone said nice forest and trees. This is a place that our ancestors used to be, I can't go into all of it now. Okay, all the tourists that come from show ship, they always come to this place. Right now, I speak to, I see there's so many of them inside this place right now. Some of them more back down here. But I always try to find a more isolated area, give them the freedom with the tour guides. So the tour guides could tell them things where their own people tell the tour guides and to tell them basically. I know we're going on. You know what I mean? In my country, you go anywhere in the wild, you see a breadfruit tree. Yet they say how a white man bring breadfruit tree and then captain blind. And the people, they're going to tell the people them all of that. And this tree he named this, and this tree was that and that, and nothing so. I know what I'm talking about, okay? That's why it's come to this place. I have a reason why it's come to this place. Okay, and they just come to all this place. And all the places in my country call places like inches, they know why they call them places like inches. But the blind people here, they don't like me, no. And most of the people who associate with this place and who just walk in this place, they don't really like me. Because they know I don't believe in no Jesus and that they don't like me. Okay. Even one time I had to go on the ministry that in charge of this whole area here. And so one time I had to go down by the building where they operate there to make a complaint with one the guard at the gate who tried to mess with me. Yeah. Your energy. Your energy. They just can't take your energy too strong. That's what happens sometimes. It's archons, you know. It's archonic behaviors, you know. Look, every day of my life, okay, because it's coming close to 2 freaking hours, and I really got to go. Every day of my life, when I travel in and I live in my home, I always tell my girl, I'm not dealing with people, I don't deal with people. I deal with energies. And you have to be aware of archons. Sometimes when somebody, and like, I was driving in traffic and a bike man, somebody was crossing the pedestrian crossing, and the person was, even though there was way over to the pedestrian crossing, I gonna pass and go my way. I give them that benefit to cross. A bike man come up and he getting on and carrying on, and it's like I ain't see, I ain't study. I say archonic behavior. I was even saying that, I say just looking at him, I say he get that from drugs. I know he ain't get that the right way. He get it from drugs, and I say look at the woman behind, sitting a woman. I mean, no shade that obese woman. But you gotta take care of yourself. Tell me what kind of woman you be based on how you take care of your body. And the same goes to a man. So look at that. I mean, I tell you the answer. Look at that. What do you have behind the bike? Look at that. That you have behind the bike. They carrying on and carrying on. Me argue with you. How can it behave? You have to know them. And you think it's people behaving? No. Entities were energy, man. Someone say goodbye, don't harm no one. I don't ever harm no one. Someone say, my guru, I know it is a good time when I catch you. Thank you very much. Okay, we can definitely gonna close after I don't read on these comments. My guru, you help open my eyes more. Thank you, man. Than what it already has. Widen. You are true and genuine. Thank you very much for that. Okay, but I'm actually pointing you. You see, the true guru in you, recognizing the true guru in me. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the true guru in you, because the true guru is in you. Okay, truth, recognize truth. Okay, that's it. As simple as that. Okay, and last but not least, I read in this last comment, say, this person says, many blessings, many health, many riches. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. Okay, let us continue to bring our energy together. You visualize and see me breaking all of the bands that they put at my channel and everything. See the expansion, see the growth, see me expanding in every aspect as I do the same for you. Okay? Together, we will stand and conquer, but divided, we fall. Let us stick together. Okay? So, with that being said, my brother and my sister, I just want to say peace. Love you all.